Welcome back to Health Unplugged, our superstar, where we bring medical experts' perspective into conversation that help us deal with deeper science behind everyday life and appearances. Actually, when we think of a dentist, we usually think of tooth pain or dental alignment or braces or aligners or even cleaning. But there is a more specialized field that deals with more complex issues related to jaw, face, and facial harmony. Oral and maxillofacial surgery is at the intersection of medicine, surgery, and dentistry. Today, to uncover this fascinating area of dentistry, we have a specialized doctor with us, Dr. Shreya Karan. We are delighted to have you, who is an oral and maxillofacial surgeon who deals mainly with the patients who are looking for facial realignment and facial symmetry. Welcome to the podcast, ma'am. We are
Thank you
delighted
so
to
much.
have you. So, doctor, oral and maxillofacial surgery is something that not everyone knows about or the deep science behind it. So, can you just explain the viewers what is the scope of this part of medicine?
So, oral and maxillofacial surgery is a vibrant field. It
Okay,
comes at the intersection of medicine, surgery, and dentistry, like you mentioned.
okay,
So, we are specialists of the face. We do all kinds of surgery related to the face and the neck region.
okay,
It can be facial injuries from road traffic accident. It can be facial aesthetic surgeries. It can be tumors, cysts, and it entails a lot of other procedures as
okay.
well. So, basically, we are the face expert.
So, doctor, how does the maxillofacial surgery bridge between the functional and aesthetic facial aspects?
So, in many cases, for example, if a person is coming for a jaw alignment surgery, it not only enhances the aesthetic of the person,
Okay,
it also helps in functional issues, in recovering functional issues like airway management.
mm.
So, most of the time, people are having airway issues, joint problems, eating disorders because of jaw alignment issues.
Okay,
So, the surgery not only corrects the aesthetic part where the person looks very good,
okay,
but also the functional part like they can sleep better, they can breathe better,
right.
their joint function is better. So yeah,
So, it's
that's how
more of
it's
a
break.
functional impact as well.
Yes,
Okay.
it has it.
Yeah. So, doctor, are the patient actually surprised to learn that jaw alignment can impact on breathing, chewing, and speech as well?
Yes, jaw alignment has a huge role to play in breathing, chewing, and speech. That is because, for example, if a person has a protruded jaw,
Okay.
so that will affect the speech. Protrusion means the jaw is placed forward.
Hmm.
And if the person has a small jaw which is placed backward, it will make the tongue fall back, which will affect airway. So,
Okay.
in turn, the person won't get good sleep and it will result in sleep apnea.
Hmm.
So,
Correct.
definitely, jaw alignment has a huge role to play in all the three functions of
Okay.
our mouth.
So, what are the most common reasons that a patient visits oral and maxillofacial surgeon?
So, commonly a person visits a OMFS surgeon when they have a face trauma,
Okay.
when they have cysts and tumors in the face, like oral cancer.
Hmm.
Also, they visit for facial aesthetic surgeries as well. For
Okay.
example, if they want a facelift or a rhinoplasty,
Hmm.
and they also visit us for jaw alignment problems like orthognathic surgery.
Okay.
Uh, Rest, there are a lot of non-invasive procedures also which are handled by OMFS,
Hmm.
like Botox fillers and
Right.
all kind of facial skin procedures.
Hmm.
And also we also deal in hair transplants as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's just because it's a part of aesthetic solution.
Yes.
Okay.
And the scalp is a part of it's a
Yeah.
continuation of the face
Face.
region.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, doctor, how important is the collaboration between orthodontist, dentist, and a surgeon when it comes to dealing with complex cases?
So there are many cases where a person is having a very big malalignment of
Okay.
the jaws. That is where we need a planning from the orthodontist who gives us a pre-surgical planning. And after that, we might have dental procedures for the patient, for example, root canal or some other minor procedures which will be handled by the dental surgeon.
Okay.
Then ultimately the surgical part we will be handling. So
Okay.
the collaboration between an orthodontist, a dental surgeon, and an OMFS is very important in such complex cases.
So, what are the kind of changes that a patient experiences once a jaw misalignment is corrected or treated?
So once the jaw misalignment is corrected, the patient will see improvement in their speech, their daily functions like breathing, eating, and obviously they will look very good because a perfect face is having facial harmony,
Right.
and that is what jaw alignment gives us.
Okay. So it definitely impacts the overall facial aesthetics plus the functional part as
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
So when someone is considering to go for this kind of surgery, what do they need to understand about the evaluation and the treatment part?
So before any corrective jaw surgery, we take photographs of the patient,
Hmm.
we take some scans for the patient, and we also do a virtual surgical planning for the patient.
Okay.
Post that, an orthodontist gives the pre-surgical evaluation for the patient, and we set expectations of how the person will look post-surgery.
Okay.
After that, it's a collaborative thing where we are continuously in touch with the patient so that the results are aligned to what the patient expects.
As we just heard that follow-ups are important, the before-after snapshot of patient procedures are also important. Okay. We have a very good feature on One Health Assist platform. It's called a health repository where you can upload all your treatment plans, medical test plans, and your prescription, which will help you manage your health records in a digital format. Plus, as doctor just mentioned, that follow-ups and tests are important part of any surgery. You can plan for your consultation, set reminders for follow-ups, and consult with a doctor online or offline on One Health Assist platform. So, when the patient undergoes a corrective jaw surgery, how transformative is the outcome in terms of both physical and emotional well-being?
So what happens mostly with people who come for a corrective jaw surgery, they're carrying these issues for a long time in their life. So they're carrying the emotional baggage of their society, of their families.
Okay.
So definitely it's a very big transformation that they achieve.
Hmm.
For example, a person with a big chin, for them a normal chin and a normal face makes a lot of difference in their life,
Okay.
not just functionally but also being a normal part of the society according to how people see them.
It's more about perseverance and
Yes.
how the confidence will be built
Yes,
based on
definitely.
the correction surgery.
They also seem to perform better at their work,
Okay.
at their personal lives. So definitely it makes a huge change.
It's a feel good factor, maybe.
Yes, yes, definitely. It's like, you know, your face is the ultimate mirror for everything.
Everything.
Yes.
So, what role does a careful planning play in terms of having the natural outcome when you are talking about corrective jaw surgeries?
So, just like any other surgery, corrective jaw surgery has its own set of limitations,
Okay.
and also it has its own set of risk.
Okay.
So, definitely, when people are having unrealistic expectations because of social media, so we have to keep a check for that,
Okay.
and we give a planning in such way that will be holistically good for the patient,
Okay.
not just functionally but also aesthetically as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, we give the best outcome, which will not just limit their life, but it will only make it better
Better. Okay.
without overdoing it.
Right. Let's move to the next section and talk about tooth loss. So, usually when we hear about tooth loss, we align it to the dentist part. But how does it impact the facial structure when there is a teeth which is lost?
Right. So, what happens with tooth loss is that the jaws collapse eventually with aging and with tooth loss. The function of the tooth is to hold the jaw bones in place.
Okay.
Not just helps us in chewing and eating or anything. It also holds the bone and it gives a structure to the overall face.
Right.
So when there is tooth loss, we see a lot of patients with a collapsed facial structure. So that is where definitely a rehabilitation will help the patient not just gain the function but also the facial volume as well.
Even the jawbone will be restructured.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It will keep it healthy for a very long time.
Okay. So when the tooth is missing for a longer period of time, why there is a bone loss?
So like I mentioned before, the tooth is the structure that holds the bone in place.
Right.
So the moment a person loses a tooth, the area starts resorbing.
Okay.
The bone resorbs there and it loses the volume and the function as well.
Okay.
So that is why repeated tooth loss or long-term tooth loss can lead to bone loss.
Okay. How does the bone loss contribute to premature facial aging?
So because of bone loss, the face looks sunken.
Right.
So a person looks more aged before their time. So that is how it leads to facial aging. There will be sunken cheeks, there will be retruded jaws.
Okay.
The jaw position also changes because of tooth loss. So that is what it leads to facial aging.
So tooth loss is not something that someone should ignore for a longer period of time.
Yes, definitely. It shouldn't be ignored
Yeah.
because it will lead to bone loss as well as facial
Facial.
aging.
So doctor, can you suggest one method of dealing with tooth loss?
I think the best method for dealing with tooth loss are dental implants.
Okay.
So dental implants are structures that are made of titanium. It forms the root part of the tooth, and we later place a crown on the top of it.
Correct.
The best part about dental implants is that it lasts for a very long time, like at least 15-20 years if it is
Okay.
maintained well. So yeah, that is one of the methods of
Okay. So
dealing
the
with tooth
implant
loss.
plays an important role when there is a tooth.
Yes, yes, it
Okay.
does.
Can implant prevent the gradual collapse of facial support when there is a tooth loss?
Yes, definitely, because implants function as natural teeth once they're placed.
Okay.
So definitely they will prevent the collapse of facial structure.
Let's move to the next segment and learn about genioplasty or chin surgery. What exactly is genioplasty and why is it becoming so booming or alarming nowadays?
So genioplasty is a surgery which is meant to augment the chin or
Okay.
even pull it back in cases where it is indicated. So it is becoming a thing because people want beautiful chins nowadays, especially because a lot of celebrities are going for such surgeries. So, and also in some cases where people are having bigger chin, they want a smaller chin. So
Okay.
it can be both ways.
So it's more of a aesthetical solution than a functional one?
Yes, primarily it is more of an aesthetic solution, but also in some cases it is done as a functional surgery along with an orthodontic surgery as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be a part of the same surgery.
So why is the chin such an important aspect in terms of facial structure or facial harmony?
So I would say that the chin is a very key landmark of the face,
Okay.
which kind of makes or breaks the face, because the projection of the chin restores the beauty of a person. I mean, however they look, the chin is the defining point. If your chin is very prominent, it will look in a certain way. If it is not present, then it will look in a certain way. It kind of adds to the length and breadth of the face as well.
Right.
So it creates the face overall. So that's why it's a very important part.
Okay.
A little overdo or underdo can make a lot of difference in the face, and it can kind of ruin the face.
Right.
Yeah.
So, doctor, would you recommend a chin surgery to any patient?
It completely depends on the patient expectations. For example, if the patient is requiring a prominent chin,
Okay.
then yeah, we will suggest the patient, but we will also see the other parts of the face. We will evaluate the patient and we will see if it is at all required. Then only we will go for a advice.
Okay. So evaluation is very important in this.
Yes,
particular
absolutely.
aspect.
Of the entire face.
Yeah. Okay. So, doctor, is modern facial surgery more focused on balance and proportion rather than it being a dramatic solution?
Yes, modern facial surgery focuses more on function and balance rather than dramatic change. That is also because social media like Instagram and Facebook has created a lot of unrealistic expectations in people,
Okay.
where they think that, okay, a person can look completely different in just a few days,
Surgery.
which is not normal and which is not good as well.
Okay.
So, as a surgeon, I would like to say that we aim to achieve a more natural, more functional, and more aesthetically pleasing result rather than something that will make you look completely different and
Okay.
unrealistic.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the social media is adding a lot of ambiguity in terms of whether the surgery is going to be good for patient or not.
Yes, yes, and it's also creating a lot of bad expectations in
Yes,
people
yes.
where they want to look like a certain person or
Hmm.
look like a certain way, which is creating a lot of psychological issues,
Right.
especially in younger people,
Patients,
teenagers and adults as well.
One of the biggest achievement in surgery is digital planning. So how is the transformation taken up by the surgeons?
So the thing is that the digital planning part nowadays has fastened the surgical procedure.
Okay.
So earlier we had to create models of the face we had cast, and it took a lot of time, and it was also not accurate. So digital planning and virtual surgical planning has made it much more accurate and faster.
Okay. So can you explain what this model here is about, doctor?
So this model is of a patient of mine. It's a SLM model. It is created from the CT scan of the patient.
Okay.
So the patient could not open her mouth for 15 years. She could not eat solid food. She was on liquid food for 15 years. She had TMJ ankylosis.
Okay.
Basically, both her TMJs were fused. So what we did is we did a planning for her, and we also released her jaws, returning her to normal function and life. So the surgery not only helped her in eating normally again, but also it restored her confidence and it improved her quality of life.
It's really fascinating to understand how science can help a patient in terms of so much of complex issue.
Yes, definitely.
In what way does digital planning impact in terms of precision and safety of a procedure?
Digital planning is done with a lot of advanced software nowadays. So the planning is pi to pi in millimeters.
Okay.
Basically, that we could not do manually before. Even there was a little discrepancy that is handled by the software. So definitely it is more accurate and it helps us in planning the surgery exactly according to what the patient needs.
Okay, so it's pretty accurate in terms of the surgical part.
Yes, it's pretty accurate in terms of the surgical part as well. Like we can plan the cuts of the surgery, we can plan the movement of the surgery according to the virtual surgical plan.
Okay,
So it makes
that's
a lot
again
of
very
difference.
fascinating to understand this aspect. So, how does 3D planning help predict a outcome of post surgery with more of accuracy?
So with 3D planning, we can also show the patient how the patient is going to look after the surgery.
Okay.
So the patient also has a realistic expectation of what to gain from the surgery. And also we get an idea of how the movements will be,
Okay.
how the face will land at the end point after the surgery is done. So yeah, it definitely makes a lot of difference.
Okay. So when patient actually sees the digital simulation or outcome of their surgery, do they have kind of anxiety or questions related to that? Are they, more anxious?
So it can go both ways.
Okay.
Most of the time we see that when we show the virtual surgical planning to the patient, the anxiety of the patient reduces.
Okay.
But in some cases, the patient may be a little bit more anxious because they're not used to that new phase. So it takes some time from us also to counsel the patient properly. Patient counseling is very important at this stage.
Okay.
To make the patient realize that how their outcome is going to be. So it can go both ways, but most of the time it reduces anxiety.
Okay, so the patient interaction plays a very important role here.
Yes, patient counseling plays a very important role because people are used to seeing their face every day in the mirror. In fact, they're used to living with those flaws for a long time.
Right.
So it does make a lot of difference.
So when you're explaining the surgical procedure to a patient, how important is transparency and visualization of their outcome?
It is very important to explain each and every step to the patient. It should not be like that, we have planned something and the patient does not know and we are doing something on the operating table.
Okay.
We always should explain what is the procedure and what are the steps, how long it will take. It helps us align patients' expectations with the results as well.
Okay.
For example, some of the surgeries require two-stage surgery.
Okay.
Where we do one step of surgery in one part and then maybe we have to lengthen the jaw in the second part.
Okay.
So that's a very extensive procedure. The patient has to financially and mentally be prepared for such a surgery.
Right.
So transparency is very important.
Facial asymmetry is something that people notice about themselves. So how common is this kind of facial asymmetry nowadays?
So mild facial asymmetry is very common. By common, I mean we all have more or less asymmetrical faces.
Okay.
Rather, symmetrical faces is very uncommon. So mild asymmetry does not make much of a difference, both functionally and in aesthetic ways. But people who have a lot of asymmetry, definitely it will affect their function as well as their social life.
Okay.
So they are primarily indicated for surgical cases.
Okay. So what are the common causes for facial asymmetry, doctor?
So facial asymmetry can be genetic. It can run in families.
Okay.
And in some cases, it can also be due to trauma.
Okay.
In some cases, it can be due to a malaligned TMJ joint where both the joints have not formed equally. And also sometimes there are soft tissue facial asymmetry where only the soft tissue part is affected. The bones are not affected. So yeah. That's
so by trauma, you mean if there is a road accident that has occurred to a patient, it impacts the facial symmetry part.
For example, if a person has a RTA and the person falls on their jaw, so and there is a condylar like the jaw joint fracture, so it can lead to a facial asymmetry.
So doctor, how do the surgeon diagnose the underlying causes of facial asymmetry?
We go for a clinical diagnosis first. We check the teeth as well. We check the other aspects of the jaw and the face. and then we ask the patient to go for a CT scan or for any other diagnostic modality,
Okay.
which helps us in diagnosing the facial asymmetry and the extent of it.
When we are talking about surgical procedure, is the goal always to acquire a facial symmetry or complete symmetry, or is it even to restore the balance?
The main focus of the surgery is always to restore balance,
Okay.
both functionally and aesthetically. The goal is not to achieve the perfect symmetry.
Okay.
It's rather the natural looking symmetry that is according to the patient.
Okay. When patients are taking up jaw surgery, they only think of it as a cosmetic solution. How accurate is that?
That is not at all accurate. Yes, jaw surgery does bring cosmetic and aesthetic changes to a person's face, but the main reason for a jaw surgery most of the time is a functional issue.
Okay.
When the patient has a chewing problem or an airway problem, that is where primarily we do a jaw alignment surgery. But yes, it does change the face of the person. It brings a drastic cosmetic change in a good way for the patient.
So, is this surgery extremely risky, doctor?
So, just like any other surgery, corrective jaw surgery has its own set of risk related to anesthesia and in OT risk,
Okay.
such as emergency bleeding and other stuff. But the thing is that, but people can go for the surgery if it is indicated.
Why do you think that the patient delays these kind of surgeries? Even then, there are functional problems that they are facing.
So most of the time, the first thing that happens is the patient does not know that these surgeries are available nowadays
Okay.
for these kind of issues. Second thing, the patient is very much used to living with those functional problems for
Okay.
a long time. And nobody makes the patient aware that, okay, you should go for this surgery. It can make your life better. They're used to that way of life. So definitely that's why they don't come, and or they come very late.
What reassurances that you give to a patient when they actually decide or come up to these kind of surgeries?
So first of all, we counsel the patient that it will be good for their functional health as well as for their cosmetic changes as well.
Okay.
And also we give time to the patient and we explain the procedure in details, and continuous counseling can help in most of the cases where patient is feeling hesitant.
So the hesitation part goes off once you
Yes,
reassure them that
eventually,
everything.
and also family support is also very important. We
Okay.
explain to the family members, how the surgery will bring changes and what entails in the surgery.
Right.
So it does make a lot of difference.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move to the next part and understand what are the benefits of the maxillofacial surgery. So, what are the long-term benefits of these kind of surgeries, doctor?
The long-term benefits lie in the place where we restore the face of a person. The face is the mirror to our soul, and restoring a person's face not just entails the functional part but also confidence, the cosmetic part, the societal part. So overall, the long-term effects are very good, and it completely changes a person's life. I think one good example would be my patient who could not open her mouth for 15 years. So it completely changed her life. These are the long-term benefits.
So this is a very big example of how the patient gets benefited in long term when they decide for doing these kind of surgeries.
Yes. Not just this kind of patients. Then there are also, we have cleft patients.
Okay.
Where they are children living with cleft lip and palate.
Right.
Where it will completely transform their life after the surgery. There are people with craniosynostosis syndromes.
Okay.
With big
Yes.
big issues, complex issues in the face. It makes a life changing aspect for them.
Okay.
Even with people with jaw alignment issues, it completely changes their life regarding sleeping, breathing, everything. It makes a lot of difference.
Okay. So the overall life balance also changes.
Yes. They're much more at peace.
Yeah.
They are breathing better. They're much less stressful about how people will perceive them. So it makes a lot of difference.
Let's move to the next segment. So, doctor, what inspired to become an oral and maxillofacial surgeon?
Okay, so when I joined dental school, I realized that there is a subject which combines the beauty of dentistry and surgery and also medicine together. That is what inspired me to join oral and maxillofacial surgery. Surgery itself is something that I always wanted to pursue.
Okay.
And this field gives me the chance to bridge dentistry and medicine and surgery and give the best result to the patient.
Okay.
In terms of facial aesthetics, function, and everything else. So yeah.
So what was your thought behind putting up this center as Curavi?
Yes, so Curavi stems from a place where I feel that healthcare has become very costly in this country. I wanted to give affordable healthcare, and not just affordable but premium, personalized healthcare to people, especially when it comes to specific super specialty facial surgeries.
Okay.
Because facial surgery is a domain which not a lot of people are working in,
Right.
and this is also a very sensitive place because the face is everything for a person.
Right.
If we botch up a face, then I don't think we can ever restore the confidence or the happiness of a person.
Right.
So that is where Curavi comes in. The word Curavi means to heal.
Okay.
So we want to approach facial surgeries in a more holistic way. We also have a dental component to it. We have a facial aesthetic component
Okay.
to it, where we are doing non-invasive and invasive surgical aesthetic procedures as well. So yeah, I mean, we are trying
Okay.
to make a difference.
So when you want to go for a customized super specialist consultation, you can connect with Dr. Shreya on One Health Assist platform and get your consultations online or offline. So doctor, how does platform like One Health Assist help you in managing your consultations?
So One Health Assist has helped me connect with patients who could not approach a maxillofacial surgeon or who did not have access to maxillofacial surgeons. And it has also helped me manage my current patient records with their patient management system.
Okay.
I can track my before and after photos, and I can track all the patient diagnostics as well under one roof.
Right. This brings us to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much, doctor, for bringing insights into facial surgeries, jaw alignment, correction surgeries. This has really helped us understand how a patient can decide on a customized plan and be happy with a happy face and smile. So, thank you so much for your presence on this podcast, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you for your time as well. Thank you.
I'm your host, Deena, signing off for now. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned.